So it has begun. I think it'll take a minute, and then it should be.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah, let me know as soon as you see they're on. Hey, Bob.
Okay, you see us now?
Yeah, we see you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm just joking.
Okay, what I have all of that, the control panel showing right now, so I guess
All
it'll.
right, but I think we're on. So let's start. Bob, I want to call the meeting to order, Senor Kirshner. We have a quorum, I believe.
Let's call the meeting to order.
Anita?
To do a flag salute.
Say it louder.
Yeah. Hi.
Speak louder.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we hear you.
Yes. We'll call the meeting to order, and in lieu of a flag salute, we'll do a roll call.
Thank you. I'd like to read the announcement into the minutes. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with the provisions of the Senator Byron M. Baird Open Public Meetings Act. Notice published in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger, filed with the Lakewood Township Municipal Clerk, and by law, there's no public bulletin board at this time, but it's published on the Lakewood Township website. On a roll call for attendance, Mr. Calabro, Mr. Flansbaum, Mr. Halverson.
Here.
Mr. Katz, Mr. Schuster, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Kirshner.
Yes.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we didn't distribute minutes. We'll get caught up with that next meeting. It's been a very hectic couple of weeks, but it's all good. We'll get it out to you, and we'll get both sets of minutes hopefully in time for next meeting.
Anita, you want to go over the financials?
Yes, the statement of accounts was sent to you separately because we haven't received the bank statements yet, but it basically does show the deposits that we received and the anticipated invoices, the bill list, the proposed bill list that we are looking to approve at this meeting. A statement of accounts just need a vote for acceptance.
Just water.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
I'll second.
Greg Stafford Smith, Hal Halverson. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
We have a bill list in the amount of a total amount of $47,993.10, which is split between the Strand apartments and operating. Right now, the Lakewood Industrial Commission is funding the repairs to the Lakewood Airport trailer location. We can answer any questions that you need to have answers on. If you have questions.
Yep.
So, just so everybody understands, yes, what you're seeing here is the expenses, the outgoing, but for this year, as we're operating as the fixed base operator, that means that we're receiving all the rents, profits off fuel sales, and I'll address that in a moment when we get into my report. But
item 3879, for the Bennett Center landfill, that invoice.
Yes, that is required. The Department of Environmental Protection is requiring us to pay that prior, because we've asked for.
It's the permit fee. It's it's the permit fee for the closure. So
that's right.
We have to do that. We don't really have a choice, and it's not like anybody else in town is about to pay for it. And given that we're, working with the closure and then hopefully the disposition of that property, cost of doing business.
Okay. I move to accept the bill list.
Second. Stafford Smith.
Okay, I'd like to do a roll call on this. Mr. Calabro?
Yes.
Mr. Halverson?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Kirshner?
Yes, but is there a Fran?
3882.
All right, I'll pass on that one.
Okay, well, let me write this down. 3882.
That's correct.
Okay,
Voting for the bill list except for that one.
thank you. Got it.
Okay. The budget to actual, again, is just a running FYI. If there's something that jumps out at anybody, there'll be more coming out of there because you'll start to see some of our project expenses. I think we still have to pay in a little bit onto the repaving of Swarthmore, which was really just a home run. I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten from business people in the area, just thrilled with the repaving along Oak Street and Swarthmore. It's really made a huge
I
difference.
want to make a comment. I was on it yesterday. It's beautiful.
Yep,
They
Thank you,
did a
Jeff.
beautiful job.
that was great. That was a great project. It really worked out fantastically. We're looking forward to more good things happening there. So with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I'll just jump right in because most of what I have is enclosed, but I'll give you a brief update on the few of these things that are open.
You're on.
Okay, so the Strand building boiler replacement, we're in final acceptance stage. We've signed off on pretty much everything. I think they have like one flange or something to change, but the systems are up and running. We've seen it in the commissioning process, and it's fantastic, super efficient, and so we're probably I don't know, a couple of weeks away from releasing the payments to them and so on. That's really a very successful and a great project. I think we did our PR person did a nice article on it, and it's a nice way for us to maintain a township property, and especially a historic one like that. So that's great. The Airmen Terminal. So we've got the new trailer that's almost done with its inspections. We hope to move in our first tenant, which is one of the flying clubs, within the next week. Maybe as early as this weekend, but certainly by midweek next week, we hope to have them in. That's about 150 members, which will not all come in at the same time, but there's a lot of excitement about people moving into the new space, and it's looking great. Lots of interest and activity going on there, and that's really good for us. That's going to generate some nice revenue and also good base of operations to engage not only the flying public, but also, again, the residents of the town who like to come to the airport, see it, experience it. We have a lot of good things that are in the works that are planning from an educational perspective that'll engage the youth of the town, as well as enjoyment and people kind of engaging with the brand of Lakewood Airport. So there's great things happening. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we are, of course, now the operating FBO for this year, the fixed base operator. So we're buying the fuel, we're selling the fuel, we're making a few bucks there. And actually, in the last month was, I think, one of our highest grossing months in terms of fuel sales ever. So it's just an enormous amount of activity as people are coming out. So I don't know if it's just, the kind of the break from post-COVID, that breakout that people did. I've been discussing it with some of the clubs, but they've seen their biggest volumes ever in terms of activity. So that's great, and the clubs are talking about maybe buying additional planes. We have leased up 6 hangars, so we're down to very few, and I have inquiries on some of them already. So we may be at full capacity soon and start building our next waiting list, which is really a great place to be. So,
Steve, I want to jump in here for a second.
Sure.
The trailers. What do we do with those 2 trailers? One belongs to the club, right?
One belongs to the club, and they're staying in that one. The other trailer belongs to us, and the club that's in there is moving into our trailer. So we have yet to determine how we're going to either sell it, repurpose it somewhere else, and of course, as you know, we have a plan for bringing in another piece to help us facilitate some additional functionality that we want to bring in terms of educational use, training, pilot training, and testing. So all of that's in the works.
We may want to move, right?
We may want to move.
we may want to move, get a boat
Yes,
trailer.
yes, we
down
may
there.
want to move it there. I mean, of course, longer term, we definitely do want to move it, but even in the short term, we may want to make some reconfiguration of some of that area. The terminal area development is continuing forward. We even yesterday we were in touch with the engineers for both our airport engineers and the private entity engineers that are working with us on that partnership, that are doing some of the design work for that complete reconfiguration of the front end of the airport. So that's moving forward. We'll keep you posted as that goes along. No update on the manufacturing council. It continues to run and to run effectively. So again, I would just throw it out there that if anybody has connection to a manufacturing company and they want to get engaged, I would be happy to put them in touch and plug them into the funnel so that they can be alerted about meetings and that they can become either a passive member of these things and just tune in to their, I think it's biweekly sessions where they kind of share best practices and ideas and resources and what have you. Or if they want to, they can become a very active member. Everybody that's in there is a manufacturer. There's the only government people that are there are from the state, and they're in the background as facilitators. They only jump in if they're there to answer questions, but it's really driven by the manufacturers themselves. So it's a different kind of council. And as far as the bike and path, I'm happy to say that, we talked about that planned bike path that we had been talking about on Swarthmore. We've now kind of reoriented, together with the help of RVE and Jeff Steger, to work on design to put that around the park and ride that we hope to soon start building. Right, Jeff?
That is correct.
Awesome. So I think that's going to be tremendous. I think if there's something that people have noticed and been commenting about recently is that as people come back out, and especially with whatever restrictions remain and the parks are jammed to capacity, there's more and more need for some resource for people to go for walking, for biking, for whatever. And this is, just another thing that we can add to the mix, where if people want to pile their family in a car and come down to our park and ride and just park and, ride bikes, walk around, the taco guy is still out there. I'm not recommending anybody eat tacos. It's up to you. But there's there's resource like that out there, and I think that what we've seen is that there's more need for that kind of resource. So we're happy to be part of that. Everything else I have is in closed session, and so unless there's any questions, we'll move on.
I have one more question, and that is this bike path. Is it supposed to encompass the whole park,
So-
like Swanmore and Vassar and everywhere else?
No. It's right now what we're looking at it is to just be basically like a ring road, a surround. I'm getting feedback.
Getting
Of the park and ride that's on Swarthmore. Got me, Bob?
I'm listening.
Yeah. So in the park and ride that we're going to build, so that people can get off the streets and they can park their car for commuting.
Here's Steve, there's still an echo.
I don't. Yeah, there's a lot of echo. All right, I don't know what it's about, but Bob, on Swarthmore, across from actually right next to Allchem, to the new parking area that they're building for their trucks, we're going to be building our park and ride. That park and ride is going to provide whatever it is, 150 spaces. On the edge of that park and ride is where we want to put this bike path. We'll get some sketches out to you as it moves forward.
Is the bike path going to, let's say, extend from New Hampshire east?
No. It's going to be self-contained, like a track
Inside the park.
inside the park. It's going to basically be like a track. So if you want to get some exercise, it's good. If you want to get from point A to point B, you got to get there some other way.
Okay.
All right. Okay, attorney?
Yeah, just briefly, Chairman, we know that UAA, the banner carrier at the airport, had sued the LIC and the township for commercial interference and for tortious interference in commercial activities. And good news, a federal judge about 10 days ago dismissed the case based on jurisdiction. So the judge didn't get to the merits of this case. They certainly have the right to open up the case again in state court, but for now, our efforts were beneficial to the LIC because we got the case dismissed, and there'll be more in closed session on that topic. Thank you, Chairman.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me take a quick check of the email to see. I should have announced it at the outset, but as always, we are open to comments from the public via email through the LIC comments at lakewoodnj.gov. I got nothing. So, no comments. That's the comment from the public. There's no consent agenda resolutions, but there is a resolution for action awarding a contract for appraisal. There's a piece of property that we're in negotiations on, and in concert with that, we've agreed to run appraisals. And so this is for us to engage Integra Realty, Tony Graziano, one of our approved appraisers, to appraise that property in the context of that negotiations, not to exceed $6,500. So we need somebody to, if it's questions, ask.
To accept that resolution.
Thank you. Tommy?
Second by Stafford Smith.
Okay.
Roll call on that?
Anita? Oh, Anita's muted. Hello.
Oh,
Okay, you're unmuted now. Now you can do, well, you just did it again.
He's muted again. There
No,
you go.
stop.
Whoop.
You're messing with me.
Sorry. Okay, hold on a second. You know what, Justin just joined. Let's just tell him what we're voting on so he can vote.
Okay.
So, you want me to make a motion, Justin? Move to accept resolution 200701.
Seconded by Stafford Smith.
Okay.
Okay, would you like to have, the resolution, the header of the resolution is a resolution of the Lakewood Industrial Commission authorizing an professional services contract for appraisal services of lands known as Block 1160.01, Lot 228 to establish the market value for in an amount not to exceed $6,500.
That's it.
A roll call. Mr. Calabro?
Yes.
Mr. Flansbaum, are you here? No. Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Stafford Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Kirchner?
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, if we could get a motion to go into closed session, then we'll deal with some of the,
Move to go to closed session.
Second, Stafford Smith.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
I'd like to read the resolution into the minutes.
thank you.
Whereas Section 7B of the Senator Byron and Bear Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting under circumstances, and whereas this Industrial Commission of the Township of Lakewood is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Industrial Commission of the Township of Lakewood in the County of Ocean as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussions of private and confidential matters involving any of the 9 exclusions as set forth in Section 7B of said law and is hereinafter specified. General nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: contract negotiations and litigation. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter will be made public only when the reasons for discussing and acting on them in closed session no longer exists. Said determination be made by further resolution adopted by the Industrial Commission. This resolution shall take effect immediately. The time is 11:50 a.m.
Okay, hold on one second, please.
PM.
stream is restarted. Let's give it a second to kick in.
Did you get the email yet?
No. Okay, but let me say the open record that we had a little bit of a glitch with the IT system. The email for comments that was supposed to be open was somehow not open, apparently, or something happened with it because I got a notice from somebody separately. So I asked them to submit their comments. We'll somehow get it into the record. If necessary, what we'll do is we'll append it to the minutes. Is that okay, Sean? Can we do that? We'll receive the comment offline. It's a comment. So we'll put it into the minutes under public comment, and we apologize.
You can address it next time if you want.
Yeah, or we can address it next time. We'll see if it's if its subject matter is related to something that was on this specific agenda, then adding it to the minutes will at least keep it in the record. Okay. Comments from commissioners, I guess? Mr. Kirshner, I'll leave it to you.
Any word on when we'll be back in the municipal building?
There is no word on it. I think that we were hoping to actually be on a track to have a plan for it soon, but I think the recent flare-up has everybody taken a little bit of a pause. So we'll have to play it by ear. Next month is August. August, traditionally, we've had a lot of vacations. I don't know what people's plans are this summer. Maybe people are more intent on getting out for a vacation or less. We'll just play it by ear. And of course, if and when we schedule something, if it's going to be live, it'll be posted. If it's going to be virtual, that'll be posted. So, and we'll just we'll just keep playing it by ear and doing it as we go. Sorry, Mike?
Pat and his staff are working on it. It's just about completed, and just as soon as that we get the word that we can open, I feel after talking to Pat that they'll be ready so that everybody will be comfortable.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, so that's in the works. Anybody else?
Nope. Silly
Mr. Kirshner, any
question.
closing comments?
Are we
Sorry?
back in open session now?
Yes, we're in open session.
Okay, I missed that part. Okay. I wanted to congratulate Ray and Mike on their re-election, I understand.
Primary.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the ballot.
Hear you, Robert, I hear you.
I want to guess they were unopposed.
No, we were not unopposed. I think.
And Hector, that's a member of our planning board, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Made a nice showing. All right. Nothing else? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you all.
Who's the second?
Bye, all.
Who's the second? Whoever's next to him.
Mr. Alverson? Who was
Yes.
that?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Thanks, everybody.
12:26 p.m.
Thank you. Sean, if you call me, I'll discuss that other item with you.
Sure, you want me to call you?
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right.